Well, hello everyone, it's Adrian Lowe here. I just wanted to show you something for those people, including myself, who sometimes get stuck for ideas of things to photograph. So I knocked up this thing on the website that can be viewed through a website or through your smartphone, and it's a shot list prompter. And the idea is that it's got various aspects of a photograph, and without thinking about it, you're supposed to randomly choose something in amongst these aspects. So if we go through, and don't worry about what we're doing at the moment, I'll go through in detail later. So let's say we go through and just theoretically randomly pick things, like so. Go for soft. And we won't worry about this one, we'll do that part later. Sometimes the extra ones will be too hard or won't relate, so I'll tell you why that's there in a moment. So that's one way of doing it. You randomly choose everything. So the idea is you can then print this out if you're running it from a PC, or do a screen capture from your smartphone, and then you start racking your brains. What can I take of an interior from the front, wide angle lens, HDR? So why HDR? That means it must be a contrasty shot. There's got to be shadows and highlights in there to a great extent to force you to use HDR, so that restricts it a bit. So this is a fairly easy one, really. Actually, what I think I have got for the example is the Orton effect, and the Orton is a combination of soft and sharpness, which I'll show you in a second. So that's what you've got to start thinking about, what sort of things are going to be good for HDR, what's going to be good to use the Orton effect. So what did I come up with? So there it is there. So no, it's not that one, it's that one. Just expand that out a bit and put that back on. So this picture here complies with all of these things. It's the interior of something, it's a front position, that's pretty easy, but it could have been a superior attitude, which means from above. It's almost an inferior, which is slightly from the bottom, but it is just about front, which is face level. So that's what those things are. Top is directly from the top. So it would have been an entirely different picture if we'd chosen superior, inferior, or top, for example. Alright? Obviously it's the wide angle lens. HDR, it was a very dimly lit area. In fact, you could hardly see any of the things in the shadow areas here, and that was quite dark. So I looked for something that had that moodiness, so I could bring out detail but still get the range of dark and light. The Orton, as I said, is a combination of sharpness and softness in there, and of course that's almost like a nostalgic or dreamy look, and in this case I went for the nostalgic scene to take advantage of that Orton. It's a landscape side, it's soft lighting, and that's as simple as that. So the idea is to use this to rack your brains to come up with something that's different, rather than just going out and taking a snapshot of a city building or something. But you can also select something like a building and start with that. Okay, I feel like taking buildings today, what can I do that's different? So then you go and then hopefully, well, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? Hopefully come up with something completely different. But let's leave top. Remember, you're supposed to pick the rest randomly. Let's say telephoto, HDR. Again, we're just picking really randomly this time. And right, so now we could put some of these other things you look at later. Box out, texture, comic, Polaroid, I'll be adding to those. So, but these are the main ones. I might change that to a different color. So now it's saying, righto, smarty pants, you've got to take a photograph of buildings from the top of a building with a telephoto lens. Now that's almost contradictory, isn't it? So you've got to start thinking, movement, how can I have movement in buildings? Well, that's what makes you think, isn't it? Sepia in a square format. So that's really starting to be out of the square with all these, because buildings is normally portrait, isn't it? And contre-jour is against the light. So it makes you think. That's the idea, but I'll show you a couple of other ones here that I've taken. So this one was fauna with a telephoto lens. There's movement in it from the side, landscape format, and bleachy type effect, so it makes you come up with something different. Another one is flora with a wide angle, which meant I had to use a wide and get up close to it, in high key, contre-jour against the light, in a portrait format with glow, and bleu vignette was the extras. And then it's come up with something quite different. Otherwise I probably would have gone along, taken just a snapshot of that. So this gives you some ideas of different effects to use. So there you go. So someone will give you the website for it. Try it out, please. Print it out. You can print it out here to pull out a page, and you can write notes all over your page, or if you've got a smartphone you can get a screen capture off your smartphone. Try it out. Click here for feedback to let me know what you think, and what I'll do is I'll add to all of these different things. I can't remember whether I told you about the question marks. The idea is that if people will use it, or if they want to use it, question mark will take you to several pages that will explain all the different things that we have in here. What the Orton is, how to do it, examples of the Orton, examples of bleach bypass, and I'll add several many. So this will build up into a, well, I don't know about encyclopedia, but quite a thorough explanation of all the different sorts of things, you know, why you would use different formats and so on. Okay, so let me know if I don't get anybody. I have put this across on the pages before, didn't get one reply, so I thought I'd give it another go because I found it useful. If enough people find it useful, I'll expand on it. Let's see if anybody replies this time. Okay, good luck. Thanks for listening.